What's up, guys? Welcome to Kind of Funny's Mission Impossible in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every single Mission Impossible movie. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That's Kevin Coelho. Over there, we got Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
This is the first episode of this series, if you haven't been keeping up. We've been reviewing a whole bunch of different franchises. We started with MCU in review. Then we did X-Men in review. Then we did Spider-Man in review. Then we did Fast and Furious in review. And here we are with episode 1 of Mission Impossible in review. You can go back, watch all those. I highly recommend it. But this is a nice, fresh jump-on point for a lot of people, too, including me, because this is my first time ever watching the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very excited about that. Barrett, you said the same for you?
Yeah.
So Barrett's going to be over on the boards. First time watching that as well. Andy, what about you? What's your history with the Mission Impossible franchise?
I've seen every movie, but I haven't seen parts 1 through 3 since they probably came out around then. I haven't seen part 1 since I was like a child.
Yeah.
But I love the more recent iterations. Those are some of my favorite movies ever.
Kevin?
I'm in the same boat where I've seen all of them, but I haven't seen, I think, 1 through 3 as well, since I was a very, very young kid.
Little baby
So
boy.
yeah, like rewatching this was like, this is the first time I've rewatched it as an adult.
Yeah.
It's
Nick?
interesting.
Well, I mean, I've seen one a ton of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it was 1996 this movie came out. The 96 original Mission Impossible was a classic to me. You have to understand, like, when I was a kid, they tried to bring the show back, and I just was like, I don't understand what any of this is. I had seen old episodes of the 70s show back in the day, which is my touchstone in Mission Impossible, which is why this probably holds a more special place in my heart than it does for you guys, just because the faces coming off and like all the espionage stuff and all that silly stuff, all the screens, all the mission itself exploding. You know, this mission will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Yeah, these
those
movies
are all old. Those are all relics left over from the original show that probably holds absolutely no meaning to any of you guys.
Part 1 to me is the movie that I watched as a kid and always had as I was watching it, had a fake laptop in front of me and I would pretend to be a spy, and like it definitely got me and it took me back for sure. And there's a lot of points.
Fake laptop out.
Yeah. There's a lot of points in the movie that sort of bring back certain emotions and feelings that I remember having as a kid. So it's really cool. I enjoyed it.
What's funny for me is it reminds me of Pulp Fiction in the sense that I had never seen Pulp Fiction until recently. And when I watched it, I was surprised that I was like, I feel like I've already seen this movie just because of how much it's parodied and how much it's like referenced in pop culture. And with this, it's like, oh, this thing will self-destruct. I'm like, wow, this movie really kind of defined, and I know it was from the TV show as well, but like it defined a world and like the weird tech CIA stuff in a way that like Iron Man defined the HUD look, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean,
so
you have
cool.
Mission Impossible is like. It's very much a touchstone for a lot of those espionage movies. You see a lot of them like springing off from there as well. Like you don't get the Bourne Identity without the Mission Impossible series, right? Mission Impossible is like that cheese dicky, techie espionage spy thriller kind of thing. Then from that you get like, oh, we're gonna go a little bit more serious with Bond. We're gonna go a little more serious with the Bourne Identity. But like it all starts with Mission Impossible.
And I
Mission
can't
Impossible-
wait for more.
Mission Impossible goes a really, really fun route.
Yeah.
Like they hit a
What-
point where they're like, let's have fucking fun with this.
Yeah, what's really interesting, and this is something to pay attention to, is how all of those devices, all those fun little gimmicks and stuff evolve over the next 6 films. Because spoilers, the tearing of the face thing, that doesn't go away.
No,
Never goes away.
I'm not looking forward to that.
But it's good.
But it
It's
gets
good.
to a
Yeah,
point
it
where
gets-
you're like, okay, I can see where you're doing with this. Like they get a little bit more clever about it. In this one, like they literally have Tom Cruise playing another character where you're like, it's clearly Tom Cruise. And you're like, he's just playing like a general with a Texas accent. You're like, that's what's
going on
clear. Like
here?
if I saw the guy, I'd be like, why is Tom Cruise here in makeup? This is weird. You know what I mean?
But ladies and gentlemen, this is Kind of Funny's In Review each and every Tuesday on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames live. We do our review. We talk about the movies. You can then watch the video later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or on roosterteeth.com, or you can listen to the podcast or search for Kind of Funny Reviews on the podcast service of choice that you have. You can be part of the show by going to patreon.com/kindoffunny, and you can either write your haiku and review that we will read on the show, or you can get the show ad-free. All that stuff's fantastic. But let's start this one off right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mission Impossible, released on March 22nd, 1996, the earliest movie we reviewed so far in
Holy
the kind
shit.
of
So
funny
far we go back.
review.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
'cause
true.
I mean-
I guess we share with Iron Man.
Also,
Well, Iron Man's 2008, but then Fast and Furious would have been 2000.
Sure.
So
Wow.
Also, I was looking at the IMDb trivia facts. Last major movie to come out in
on
Betamax.
Betamax.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Betamax.
Chad dates the shit out of this movie. But so
insane.
does all the technology.
Oh my
There's a lot
god.
of things.
So does all the emailing.
So does young
Tell
Tom
you
Cruise.
what, man. I haven't seen so many fucking Nokia phones in a movie ever in my life.
That's great.
Directed by Brian De Palma,
Yeah.
who directed Carrie in 1976.
And most importantly, Scarface. That's the film he's
and
really
the
known for.
Untouchables. I was blown
Untouchables,
away.
yeah, I guess
I
it's
did
a lot
not
of
know
good
that.
stuff.
I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, and it's weird because obviously the way this movie starts, the first 30 minutes of this, you're like, okay, did not see any of that coming, right? And that's very Brian De Palma. This movie has a lot of Brian De Palma style in it. In that you're just like, it's kind of twisted in parts and a little bit weird.
A lot of the
and
cinematography
very
is
stylized,
really cool.
And
Yeah.
man,
Horrible.
they use.
You say cool. I say horrible.
I liked it.
I liked it too. There's a lot of stuff.
like
I was
it
like, oh.
because
Mm-mm.
I like it because it's very much like you go back and look at it now and it's like this. It's very much a sign of the times of what it was, and he was trying to stylize it. He was trying to make it a cool spy movie. He uses a lot of that the dual focus technology that I did not realize watching it back in the day. But it's like almost every other shot, and it's really off-putting at first.
Sirens
Like there's a
on
part
our
where you're
sense.
like, why does the knife need to be in focus?
Yeah.
With the guy in focus at the same time, like in the foreground. I forget what that's called. It's like diopic or dioptric lens. It's a special lens they use where both planes are in focus at the same time. And people don't use it now because
It's off-putting.
Off-putting, because it fucks with your concept to death. But it's a really cool. They used to use it back in the day for like detective, spy, murder mystery thrillers, things like that.
All
So it
the
has that.
bottom to top shots where it's like up people's noses.
Why?
It reminds me of a lot of
But it's like this, like the scene, like where he's talking to Kittredge in the aquarium bar. It's totally shot normal until the second where he realizes that Kittredge is actually onto him, and then it goes down low.
It's like an
they're
unnerving-
oh shit,
Yeah.
we're underneath it. It's
it
just
reminds
those
me of
fun,
watching Mr. Robot, where
Yeah.
Mr. Robot uses a lot of weird shots where their head is in the bottom corner of a screen and the rest of it. They do a lot of weird shit like that. I think it's really cool.
I think I got it in my notes.
It's
I
not
forgot what it's
great, but I think it's cool.
Well, it's very on the nose,
Yeah.
but it's very much it's all. Let's put it this way: all the cinematography had purpose. Whether or not that
It was
purpose
good or
was
not.
good,
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
It had
true.
purpose.
There were decisions that were
there
made.
were decisions, but it's called the split diopter. Is what those shots are
that
called.
sounds
I
like
had
a
to look it up.
fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, I don't know what those lenses look like, but it
Dilophosaurus.
actually allows you to I guess to focus different planes of field on
That's
different
so
sides of
weird.
the lens. And you see in the middle if you look closely, you see the blur.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they do it.
It just, I
Clint
just thought it
Eastwood
was
uses it
one shot
sometimes, too.
composed on top of another one.
It might be.
I didn't think it was
I don't know if that's how they do it. I don't know if it's a lens or if they do actually composition. I always thought it was a lens, but I've
And I
never
don't know if
actually
it's
used it
more
before.
noticeable now with clearer 1080p,
Yeah.
4K technology or whatever. I don't know if it was something that you may have missed back then while watching it on VHS, where maybe
Or Betamax.
the resolution is lower, so you don't really notice how the black background is blurred on the close object, but on here
Man, they
it's
use
not.
it so
It's really
many times.
weird.
There's a part where they're in the CIA headquarters. It was like, I want him manning an outpost in Alaska. The guy, the poor dumb
Yeah.
shit in the back's like, oh, I fucked up.
He's a little
Somebody
oaf.
poisoned me and I
Yeah,
almost
that
died.
sucks. That sucks
Jesus.
so
Maybe
bad.
you guys should take a look at your own fucking security at the CIA headquarters. This guy can hack it in 5 seconds.
A budget of $80 million and a box office of $457.7 million. The first film to be released in over 3,000 theaters in the United States, which definitely contributed to that big box office. A runtime of an hour and 50 minutes. Just like we did with Fast and Furious, we're going to avoid future spoilers now for my sake. So I'd appreciate that.
And mine.
And
I don't
for
remember
Barrett,
enough
and
to
for Barrett.
spoil
Yeah,
Same.
I was going
Yeah,
to say,
yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Same.
Cool.
I
I'm
did
sure
spoil
you'll
the
find
fact
a way.
that there are some
Kevin,
text
I'm
stuff
sure
that
you'll find a way.
Why just me? He does it too all the
Nick will
time.
find a way to.
How dare you,
you,
Barrett? How
Barrett.
dare you, Barrett? How dare you?
Mission Impossible.
Are we doing it?
There were a couple times he said it where he was close to
Impossible.
doing Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Plot. Greg is missing!
Blah, blah, blah. No, that's it.
That's where it stops. That's where it stops.
Greg is
Where'd
missing.
Greg go? We start like every movie should start, ladies and gentlemen, with Emilio Estevez. Who I forgot was in this movie. Doesn't make it long. But the fact that Emilio Estevez, who probably was like, I mean, Emilio Estevez was a huge fucking star in the 80s, and then just went away and showed back up in 1996 in fucking Mission Impossible.
Mighty Ducks, too.
Mighty Ducks. But
I guess
the more important thing is this was like his last movie appearance for hell long after. This was kind of his swan song.
Yeah,
and more importantly, the problem is for me, and I need you guys to help me out unless you guys have a suggestion. Facts of the Furious doesn't work with this. So I don't know what the trivia and facts for Mission Impossible are going to be called. But for right now, I'm just going to call them the facts of Mission Impossible.
Sure,
Mission Impossible.
How about Facts Impossible? I don't know. Did you
Impossible
Let's
facts.
just go with that.
Did you catch what the by the way, did you catch what the acronym is for his particular organization? The IMF? Which I think stands for Impossible Mission Force.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fuck yeah,
I
fuck yeah. But I got one for you.
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez appears in an uncredited role in a fairly lengthy role in the beginning of this film. He even had quite a few memorable lines of dialogue. Tom Cruise had previously made a similar uncredited cameo in Estevez's earlier film, Young Guns.
Whoa.
So there's crazy,
wow.
but it was uncredited.
You remember Young Guns?
I mean, I don't remember Tom Cruise being in Young
Yeah, I
Guns,
don't
but
either.
it's also weird that it's not a cameo if you're in 18 scenes. He's in the first 25 minutes of a major character where you're like, cool, it's awesome that Emilio Estevez is in this. Hope he doesn't get stabbed in the fucking face, which is weird.
Wow, I was really confused by this because I was about to say well, I mean, he's starring alongside his dad, but John Voight is not his dad. Martin Sheen is his dad.
Martin Sheen is his dad.
Close to that. I mean, they could've
We
replaced
start
it.
in Kiev, where we are watching this, and I like this scene because we're watching this scene unfold on the world's smallest 4x3 screen.
Oh my God.
But they're basically, which weird because and you would think they would approach this of like, hey, we're in the scene and something cool is happening, and they're like, we found a guy, and there's a dead prostitute, and there's a Russian guy there who's clearly Tom Cruise in makeup because we can hear him, and he's smacking the guy around. And he's like, tell me the name of the person that we want, the name of the person, but we're seeing it all through the screen, and man, screens are going to play a huge role in this.
Oh yeah,
everything's through a screen, everything's through lenses and a screen. But I actually thought this scene was kind of cool because you're like, oh, we get and it's Emilio Estevez. He's like, get to the fucking thing. The girl's gonna die. We're setting the world up. We're setting the tech up, and then boom, the guy finally goes, hey, I'll give you the fucking name, and then Heidi, in the frickin' Hannah comes in or whatever her name is. She gives him the shot, and then they knock the guy out, and then boom. Set goes right. It's a set.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was a set, except we
Really
saw the
cool.
back of it, and we figured out that it was a set pretty easily because he's looking through it on the camera. It doesn't matter. Opens it up. Tom Cruise pulls the thing away, shoots her with the thing, goes, come on. And the French girl comes back to life, and boom, we're in the Mission Impossible universe. We've saved the day. We don't know what for, but we're in Kiev. Fantastic.
Is this where the theme song hits?
No, I don't.
No. That's
maybe it does.
No. They talk about their boss, and then it cuts to him in a plane where he gets the new mission.
Yeah.
And after that, it cuts.
You're right.
Also,
So,
go ahead.
worst font ever.
We
Holy
cut.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we
it's
cut to the
offensive.
plane, and we get, of course, Jim Phelps, who's played by John Voight's character, right? And he's sitting in the bomb-ass first class, where apparently you can still smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's
It's
cool.
so weird to see that because he
very
uses
strange.
the cigarette
cigarette.
smoke to hide the explosion.
Right.
So cool.
So
Yeah,
there was a
it's
time you
really
could
cool.
smoke on planes?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, I remember
What?
I took a trip to Italy when I was a kid in the '80s, and there were guys smoking cigars behind us. It was horrible.
How could you
Yeah,
trust
I
an
can't
airplane
imagine
going to
that.
Italy in the
Horrible.
80s?
I mean, it was.
Like, I don't trust it
Why don't you live your life, bro?
No, they weren't good.
So
They
we're
got
on
food
this
and shit
plane.
them. This is pretty cool.
And we get the seminal scene where she goes, "Would you like to watch something? I'm going to give it to you on some sort of Sony laser disc or whatever the hell it was."
That shit doesn't look real.
No, it
That's
doesn't
not
look
some
real at all.
technology I've ever seen before.
And he goes, "Sure, what would you recommend?" And she goes, "How about the cinema of Prague or whatever the hell it
Yeah.
is, right? Which is the code name for the mission." She gives it to him, Mr. Phelps. We get the voice, right? The guy's voice was like, this mission, should you choose to accept it, is yada yada yada. And by the way, if you fuck up, you're disavowed. This is a huge thing in the Mission Impossible world. If you fuck up, you're disavowed.
You're done.
Okay.
They
Remember
gotta
the word
cut ties.
disavowed.
It's like you
ties.
didn't even exist.
It's like The Rock
Exactly.
in Fast 8, I think.
Now we have-
they were soccer
it's
game.
worse because I feel like they like delete you. Like you're just
No, yeah, you're just gone.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, you're the
everyone-
deepest of the operatives.
I feel like it's supposed to kill you if they see you.
Yeah. I don't really know if that's the case, but it feels right.
Yeah.
It feels like
Yeah.
they're going to kill you. So he goes, of course, the thing goes, put a little puff of smoke.
Little
Which I
fart.
thought was, now, you think it was going to explode. It just kind of self-destructs,
Yeah.
right? Which is cool. And then I believe this is where we get
the fucking theme song, and that should just hit so hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And I was in. All of a sudden, I was in.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the one thing that Fast and Furious is missing to me. Is just a fucking obnoxious theme song that will play at all the right parts. And god
and it
damn,
plays
it does
so much, and it's great.
So good.
And also another hallmark of the series is that we get shots of the whole movie throughout the intro of this.
And that's from the show.
I believe that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
from
yeah.
the
So the thing for the show,
Wow.
the intro, the theme song of this one was actually inspired by Thunderbirds.
No, I'm sorry, not the theme song
no,
itself.
this, the
No, the intro.
episodes. Was it?
The video that they show was inspired by like other random ass like things of the decade. And what's weird about it is it includes scenes that aren't in the movie.
Yes.
Including him making out with Claire.
Yeah.
I think that
Which
was
I think-
that was supposed to be in the movie. They just kind of cut it out because it was a little creepy.
Wink at me one more time while you say that.
Because I got mine wrong. He has sex with her at the
Yeah,
end,
he
right?
definitely has sex with her.
Yeah,
It was
when he's like,
moment
make it-
where she like hands him his
You
hand.
deserved it.
Yeah,
Or you earned it.
Yeah.
It was like weird. It was
Great
like,
line.
she
Oh,
kisses-
weird.
Great line.
Yeah, that shit was
Is it?
awesome. And Nick, I had
And it's
to
after.
look up something that you asked me. He was like, did Moby do the theme song for this?
Yeah.
No, Moby did not do the theme song, at least for this one. I don't know if he does
I
eventually.
think I'm thinking Born Identity because he did the Born Identity theme song.
Lawrence Joseph Mullen Jr. is an Irish musician and actor, best known as the drummer and co-founder of the rock band U2, alongside Adam Charles Clayton, an English-born musician best known as the bass guitarist of the rock band U2.
Okay.
They did the theme song.
That makes sense. Thanks, Cool G. Now we're going to Prague, right? We got to put the team together. This is where we're going to get all the explanation of all the stuff and a lot of details in this. A lot of very important things introduced in this one. Not the least of which is we get the team, we meet the team, and we meet the Mark. There's this guy who's got this list called the knock list, and that list is the coolest name for anything. And
Yes,
I think it
so
stands for non-operational something or other. I wrote it in here. I'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. This guy's got half this list, right? He's got the list of basically all of the undercover CIA, IMF agents in all of Europe. It's not the full list, by the way, just the European list. The full list we'll get to later.
And I hadn't heard the word knock list since I was a kid. And the second he uttered that phrase, I was like, "Oh my god, what a
knock list.
cool sounding like spy
It's a dope
thing."
list.
Yeah.
This is the MacGuffin. This is the thing we're going to be chasing around. Now, we're setting up the fact, of course, that this guy is going to be at this reception later, and he's going to be selling this list to the highest bidder. And we've got to get to this guy for whatever reason. We also introduce a lot of cool elements here, not the least of which is the glass camera we see for the first time. We see the red light, green light, which is
Yeah.
going to play not
Yeah,
once
the
but
little
twice, which is
gum.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then we also get introduced to the Gideon Bible, which is going to be, of course, a very, very important
right.
thing later down the road. Cool. So now we're like, hey, we're going to go do this. We're going to go to this place, but how are we going to sneak Tom Cruise in? And he's going to have to be the highest possible visibility possible, hide in plain sight. Tom Cruise, everyone's hiding in plain sight on this. And thank God there's a general for the United States Air Force that looks exactly like Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
except if Tom Cruise were 99 years old.
The first time I like upon watching it recently, I guess like 2 days ago or whatever, when they showed that clip of the general on the news,
Yeah.
for some reason I thought like at one point Tom had already dressed up as him.
No.
And they're like, hey, remember this clip of you on the news?
Yeah.
You have to do that again. But it was like, no, you're just going to look like this guy again. Really bizarre.
It was a very interesting choice.
Yeah.
And we'll just move on from there. So they go to the reception. Emilio Estevez, of course, gets stuck in the elevator. He's the tech guy. There's a fingerprint scanner that he's got to hack into, and they have a lot of good back and forth. And one of the people is like, she sprays the guy with the bioluminescent thing.
Yeah, the
and
back of his head.
And
Such
then I'll
bad
tell you,
tracking.
I'll tell you what,
I know, right?
every single person on the, in this place dressed to the nines, except for Hannah's character, who was dressed well, giant aviator glasses.
Yeah.
Do not go well with that outfit. Stick out like a sore thumb. I'd be
Yeah.
like, that person's up to something
Yeah.
weird.
Like, who the fuck wears sunglasses indoors?
No idea. They
Yeah.
They probably should have had her
She
just
looks like
wear
Carol
normal
Danvers,
glasses.
dude.
I mean, only a tool knocker would wear sunglasses indoors, but I
See what you
did.
did? See what you did?
I'm a little slow on the uptake, Tim, but I'm
You
always
sure are.
I'm always happy to make fun of Kevin. So they got to break into this underground little area, and I'm a little fuzzy as to why this guy had this or what they were going to do once they got
Honestly,
this
to
list,
me,
because they
that's
break
this
into the
whole
area.
movie Is what exactly is
So
going on?
what-
I don't really care.
So this guy had half of the knock list, right?
Right.
The knock list had been split into two. One was the
code names.
the code names, and the other one was the code names and their actual names. So he had their like
I get that.
their
I
aliases and
understand
codes
that,
name.
yeah.
So he was going down to retrieve the second part, and I mean, it's pretty
In order to have the
simple.
full list.
But we're not quite sure why that was in the embassy basement. Doesn't matter. They sneak down, and instead of hacking the computer and taking the list and deleting it, they just put the camera there to, I guess, make sure the guy is an asshole.
Because they need a
yeah.
capture. They need a capture. That's the mission is like, we need video evidence of him doing this.
Sure, I think that was the idea.
This had been all set up by the IMF to figure out who the mole was.
No, that's
So-
different. That's later. We don't know there's a mole yet. We just know this guy has the
Okay,
list.
I'm sorry.
We're not quite sure what's going on.
To prove that he was like stealing the information.
It's vague. It doesn't matter. They
matter.
take his route out. They're like, oh shit, he's coming down. We got to take his route out. Cool scene where Emilio Estevez is on the elevator and they have to jump underneath the elevator and like stop. It's gonna crush him, but it
scary.
doesn't crush him. And it's
So
Dutch angle,
scary.
right? And then everything starts going to
Dutch angle.
shit. I don't know why this elevator has giant spikes at the top of it.
Is that how all
And this
elevators
is something that has haunted me since the second
Yeah.
I saw this when I was 16 years old in the movie theater. The elevator starts going up. He's like, I can't control the elevator. He looks up, and I'm like, oh, he's just going to get smashed in the ceiling, which is terrifying.
Terrifying.
No, not smashed. Giant
Impaled.
Predator-style fucking spikes come from the ceiling. I
just-
guess as a security measure to make sure if anyone's on
It's
the
for
elevator.
rats. It's for
Is it
rats.
for rats
Yeah.
to stab rats?
Did you look that up?
So,
You got-
I mean,
you got some.
This is not a funny story at all.
lint.
I should not start this story saying that. This is a very sad story.
Oh, Jesus.
But like 2 years ago, at one of
cooked a
the
rat.
BART stations downtown, there was this homeless guy that was just staying on the sleeping on the top of an elevator for months, and nobody had used the elevator because it was just like out of service or whatever. And then at some point they fixed it, and he got squished.
Oh my God.
And then
BART
people
was
didn't know. They were just using the elevator, and then they're like, "What is that smell? Like, what the fuck is
Oh
this
my
on?"
God.
This sounds like a rumor.
But let me ask you
Yeah,
a question.
real as fuck.
Did he get
It's like an
squished or
urban
did he get
legend. Urban
impaled
legend,
by
that's
They
giant
shut that civic
serrated
center got,
spikes
like,
that
shut
go
down.
straight into his fucking head and
And
you
that's
see
the thing
it?
is like, no, I doubt it. I
No,
think he
okay.
was just
Well, we
squished.
saw that here. Emilio Estevez died. And this is the shocking part about this. Not only does Emilio Estevez die, he walks out, Hannah gets exploded. Jim Phelps goes, shit, everything's going to crap. Abort, abort, abort. But Tom Cruise has that cool scene with
The
Hannah.
necklace is out in the, what does he say? Out in the open?
The necklace is out in the open.
Yeah.
We see the guy come out of the open. We see this drunk Russian people. We don't know what the hell's going on with them, but they're like, whoa,
you know
this is
something's
fun.
up. You know something's up.
We stay on him for like 5 seconds.
fucking
We know
weird.
because the camera cuts to him. And of course, Kristen Scott Thomas is like, what should we do? And Tom Cruise has that sexy part where he gets up to her. He's like, we're getting that list back. We're not aborting.
Hits the wall.
Hits the wall. Right, he's all sexy.
very
and by the way, he's
aggressive,
sexy,
man.
Tom Cruise. in
God,
this.
he looks
He's
so
not
good.
old
It's
established
like
Tom
too
Cruise.
much.
He's sexy because we're going to see him in a wife beater a little later. And Jesus, his arms look fantastic. So he sends Kristen Scott, her after him. And it's foggy. The fog had just rolled in. We see Jim Phelps on
a
the spy
lot of
cam.
fog, by the way.
Jim Phelps is like, everyone get out. And then we see a gun shoot him, and he looks down, he's got blood everywhere. And then Ethan runs over to the bridge. No one's there, but we see him fall off into the ocean, and he's dead. Or not the ocean, the river, whatever, he's dead. Then Tom Cruise, a lot of running in this scene.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of running.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Sprinting
He runs
back
a
and
lot in this
forth.
series.
The thing explodes, everyone's dead. And then finally he's like, abort.
The car explodes,
The
right?
car explodes, and we assume that Claire's dead and Hannah's dead and everyone's dead. His whole team is getting fucking nuked, and it's crazy because if you know anything about Mission Impossible, the team is the team, right? Like that's the whole point of the movie, and this team's been decimated, expectations subverted.
The
right?
team was supposed to be the original team from the original show, just a bunch of old people.
Yeah, that would've
And they were
sucked.
like, "No, we don't want. We don't
We
want
need
any
sexy
part of
Tom
this."
Cruise.
Yeah, they didn't want to do it because they found out what the plot was, and they're like,
Right. Well, so then there's another little fun thing here. Reza Badiyi, the person responsible for directing more episodes of the original Mission Impossible television series than anyone else, was asked by the head of Paramount to be present on set for consulting and advising. Brian De Palma approached him and told him how much he had enjoyed the original series. He had also added that the movie would be nothing like the TV show, and that his presence on the set would only result in making both of them uncomfortable. Betty thanked him for his honesty and left the set, never
dope.
to return.
I really
sounds about
appreciate
right.
that.
Jesus.
Do you think he
sounds
still
about
got paid?
Probably.
Like, what the fuck?
That's dope.
Quick
So-
question.
yeah.
When all of this is going down, like they've got these glasses where they can see each other's like what each other's looking at, and so that's very pivotal.
Well, they
for
can't see
label.
what each other's looking at. Whoever's monitoring the signal,
Right,
Jim was monitoring
right,
the signal, so he could see what everyone was looking at,
Right.
which is a key component too.
But
So he knew where everyone was,
at one
which
point,
is
when Jim is getting attacked, he does call Tom Cruise on
the watch
his
phone.
smartwatch.
Yeah.
Right, and then Tom Cruise can see what he is.
Yeah,
He's
'cause
that
Evidently.
amazing
Yeah.
like I'm not guilty at all for whatever's going on
Yeah,
with this
but
blood around my hands.
My question of the shot of the gun pointed at John Voight.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Oh yeah, everyone.
It's
like
very
It was
obvious.
very much this,
Yeah.
right? It was 100%
I think it was
this.
supposed to go by so fast he didn't realize it.
Yeah.
No, but you realize it very quickly.
He could have done something. I don't know.
But you have to understand, in 480p on a JVC tube television, you can't tell.
What
true.
about in theaters?
Can't tell. dude.
yeah, but also to understand.
We were dumber back
It
then.
didn't come out in theaters. It's big TV.
That you're getting. It came out to 3,000 theaters. To like, you don't need to see the gun to let your partner know that
Yeah.
he got shot. You know, he could have just gone cool.
Really stupid, yeah.
Speaking of guns, for as action-oriented as this movie is, only 5 gunshots in the movie. None from Tom Cruise.
Really? Yeah, that's going to change. Sorry, spoilers. So everything goes to shit. Kristen Scott Thomas is like, I'm still going to follow this guy, and then sees someone getting gutted in a fence.
stupid.
And then she's like, I guess I'll walk real close to this fence, and then look and go, what's going on back there? And then I guess she gets gutted too, even though there's a slit about this way, and it'd probably be pretty easy to not get gutted, but she gets gutted. And by the way, still has this knife. Make sure you remember this knife has a dope-ass plastic handle, because that's going to come back later as well.
I mean, that's got to be the best murderer of all time. Like, to coax not one but 2 people close
he
to
was
a
like
fence.
sawing
to
yeah.
Through a fucking fence.
So the knock list is gone. Everything's screwed. Ethan's bloody and running around the streets of Prague at 2:00 in the morning, and he has to call home. And he calls Kittredge, and he goes, "Kittredge, everything's gone to shit. They're dead. They're all dead." You know, he does that Tom Cruise
does.
scream.
Yeah.
Dead. They're all dead. My team's dead. And he goes, "Okay, we'll debrief you. Meet at this dope ass aquarium bar.
Fucking cool as
I'll
hell.
be there myself." And he goes, "Wait, you're in Prague? What's going on? Why are you here? You're the head of the CIA. What the hell's happening here?" They go to this cool Prague restaurant and they start talking, and Kittredge is like, "Oh man, this sucks. I'm so sorry that your whole team got nuked." And then Tom Cruise is not stupid. Ethan Hunt's not stupid.
No.
He looks around and goes, "Wait a minute.
He's the
That
best.
waiter looks suspiciously familiar." And then starts calling it out. Why was there a second IMF team there? The drunk Russians on the thing. It's a cool scene in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because like
it's a really
and they
cool
start
scene.
showing him. And he goes, the guy there, the person following Hannah. Like I saw all these people and they're all in the restaurant, which seems like maybe don't put him in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But whatever.
You can't have 3 teams. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, had 3 teams is just too much.
Yeah.
At some point,
Yeah.
at some
At
point,
some point,
Clinton was going to call him
Yeah.
like, "Why are you using all these teams?
Yeah.
This is
'Cause
just
you
a
can imagine
misappropriation of funds."
There's not this many IMF teams out
I
there.
mean, they gotta
you know
have
what I
what
mean?
4 max around the world.
Maybe.
So this is when the angle cuts low. We suspect this is what was going on with the second IMF team. It was a mole hunt. This guy that got stabbed like a fucking gutted like a fish, he was one of us. He was an IMF guy. We were trying to figure out who was leaking this information to this arms dealer Max. They've been going back and forth. He calls it Job 314, which you think would be pretty easy to figure out was Job 314 if you knew anything about anything, but we're the CIA. We're kind of dumb. Ethan Hunt knows everything.
Bible's
right?
long, dude.
I'm going to give you all this information because it doesn't matter. You're not getting away. We're taking you in anyway. But what they don't know is that Tom Cruise has this dope piece of gum that apparently once you squish together is really sticky because he throws this fucking thing and it goes thunk.
Well, you didn't
And
see
then-
he licked it first.
Did he lick it first?
Give it
Yeah.
a good hard lick.
this
Dude,
is-
how scary is that gum?
It's awesome.
I feel no, I mean it's awesome, but like, can you
I
imagine
would
having
not
that
walk
shit in your
near that
pocket?
shit. No way.
Having
Remember
that
the part where
shit
he's
in
like,
your
"Don't
pocket?
chew it." He's
Yeah.
like, "Don't chew it." But I love, so he throws it against the glass, and this is a great scene, right?
Fucking awesome. This was the moment when I was like, all right, I'm into this. Like, I liked, so far it's been stupid, dumb fun. I was like, okay, this is a hint at what everyone is talking about, what's to come. And if I know anything from Fast and Furious 1 to Fast and Furious 5,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, I can see the beginnings of this because
the
like
chaos,
the
yeah.
aquarium blowing up and all the water and him running away from the water. I'm like,
So
this is
badass.
So
cool.
good.
as
So
fuck,
bad.
man.
Wait, did I miss something? There was one like
No,
in the
there
restaurant.
was all above
whole
as well. For whatever reason, when
I
it
didn't-
exploded,
I
it
didn't
fucked.
see- yeah.
Yeah, when he walks in, that because Diaz
Yeah.
saying questions, she's like, "Why is there so much water?"
Yeah, because
And I'm like, everything above
Yeah.
him was aquarium. I
they
don't
were
feel
doing
like they
why
did a
that blew
bad
it up.
job showing
When they were
that.
doing the upshots on Kittredge,
Oh,
you
you
could
could
see the
see it in the
fish
background.
overhead and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
I'm
he
going to
killed.
Prague later this year.
Oh,
and
you're
you'll
gonna
be
go there?
fucking damned
Yeah.
if I don't
Hell
try to go
yeah.
to this
You gotta go to that
aquarium
restaurant.
I gotta say really quick, as a young Latino boy growing up
Sure.
in South Texas who knows a lot of Miguel's and Rogelio's and Carlos's and stuff, I had never heard of the name Ethan before.
Really?
And like, so the name Ethan Hunt to me was like so fucking badass. Seriously, like it's weird that like I had never ever met a kid with that name before. So I was like, this guy's
It's a
has a
dope
cool
name.
name, dude.
Ethan
Hunt.
I had heard of Ethan because of Ethan Hawke, who was very popular in the 90s in cinema,
Also,
I guess.
Dope ass name.
Dope ass name as well.
Even cooler names.
I will give a shout out to Ethan's character in this, who is a very moral person, but for some reason had no qualms just nuking that member of the IMF force with that gum. I don't know. I don't remember this the first time I watched it, but the second time, that guy flies 50 feet
So
back
far.
through the window. He's fucking dead.
dude.
He's dead as disco, man. And that guy was just a normal, like one of his guys.
Yeah.
But he's fucking gone.
But they never met each other, never crossed paths.
You know what? Fuck him. He's not on
Yeah,
my team. Let's
exactly.
move on, right? So Ethan goes, cool, got to go back to the safe house, which you would think that everyone knows about, but no one knows about because
I
it's
guess not.
a safe house. Does a cool thing where he takes the lens out, smashes the bulb, and scatters it about as like a poor man security feature, which I thought was kind of cool.
The way he did it, like taking off his jacket, using his jacket to hold it, then cracking it, and then scattering it.
It sold his
What is he
badassness,
doing?
for
And
sure.
like, I imagine it's gonna be for like detection, and then he does the other one by just licking his fingers and
You
hear
just
that
takes it,
little-
makes it
That's
dark.
so
all
cool.
of the scenes in the streets of Prague prior to this, along with this whole scene where he eventually is in the safe house and you hear the glass cracking. Though I remember as a kid feeling such paranoia, and all those feelings rush back immediately upon rewatching this. Where like I know it's still this cheesy espionage movie at times, but holy shit, like it made me feel intense. Like, oh my god, they did a really good job with building the tension in these scenes.
I thought they did as well. Of course, he goes in and he's in delirium now because he's been just his whole fucking world is spun on its side. Takes off his shirt, looks faint. I mean, this is where we get just the best arms in the entire series. Tom Cruise. Can I get a wigging out? No, not a wigging out. Abs.
Do we see his abs?
No, but I mean, you feel like you're gonna
Just switch to
feel.
arms.
I had an arms song at one point. They look
Arms.
so big. Well, what the heck? Look at them. Biceps.
Biceps.
It was bye Ben.
I appreciate that. Man, he looks fantastic in this. He got jacked out for this role. That's all I wanted to say. Of course, he's not going to let this stand. He's got to take his computer out and start going through the IMF database / internet dark web /
Netscape Navigator
of the 90s. And I don't know what's going on here, but like Kevin brought up before the show, he just starts searching like random words and finding all these chat rooms that have to do with job, and then looks and sees the Gideon Bible and goes, wait a minute, maybe it's not job, maybe it's Job.
Gob Bluth?
What's that?
God
That's
actually spelled
reference, dude.
G-O-B.
Yeah, no. I'm just joking.
Just saying.
Yeah.
There you go. So we start searching all these things, and we find hundreds of rooms that have religious connotation, that have the word Job and all that stuff. And he just says, "Fuck it, I'm going to start emailing all these people and say that I got the
in a
list
bunch of different languages.
in a bunch of different languages." He's Ethan. He knows like 50 different
well-learned,
languages.
yeah.
It's fine. It does all that, yada yada yada, and then passes out. And has here's the glass though, and it wakes him up, and he looks over, and it's Jim Phelps, and he's like, "Ethan, how could you let me die? You let me die." And it's like, no, I didn't let anyone die, motherfucker.
He turns to Louis Black.
Yeah. Right, and then boom, no, it's not him. It's Hot Claire. Right, Hot Claire is back, and she's like,
Hot
and he
Claire.
grabs her, and he's like, "What's going on? You like betrayed her. How did you live?"
So
She goes,
aggressive.
"No, I got out of the car. I don't know what's happening. What's going on?" And she's like, "We're supposed to meet back here."
I love the way he did it though.
cool.
It was
So
so
cool.
intense, and he was so ready to murder everyone.
She says, I was supposed to be, if shit goes to shit, you wait, you come back here, 400 hours. It's 400 hours. I came back. What's going on? She sells it real good. We don't know if she's good or bad.
Yeah, you're
but
like,
man,
this
she's
could go either way.
But also,
she's seductive.
Yeah.
he's so scary in that moment when he like is like checking her. It's like, oh, like
he's not
at
fucking
any
around.
point he could fucking murder her.
Yeah,
I
he's
see
gonna-
it in
he was
his
about to
eyes.
snap
That's
her neck.
great acting.
Yeah.
So then we go to, she's like, well, what are we going to do? We got to get out of here. And he goes, no, we're not going to get out of here. I'm a fucking self-starter. Okay. What's going to happen is I'm going to put up, I'm setting up a meeting with Max. And then when I get there, we're going to give her what he wants. Right. Finally gets a ping back. The message says, hey, you got to go to this corner and buy a pack of Dunhills and wait. And this is a cool scene too.
So cool.
He goes and he buys a cigarette, and he goes and he asks the guy for a match. The guy lights it, and then the car
First
comes.
person view.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like we see him walk out of the thing, and it's the guy's like playing to the camera, and the
was
thing
it
comes
me
out.
or was that guy shockingly large?
He's very
His
big trench
back-
coat.
He looks like that one porn star with a guy with the long hair. There's a porn star.
Lexington Steel.
No, there's a white porn star with long blonde
Distinct
hair.
lack of hair
Oh, I
there.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like an old school dude,
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
'90s dude.
But like his shoulders were the widest I've ever
The guy
seen.
from Pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
The pirate's porn.
No, he's right. He's right.
I'm 100% right.
It's not his best role, but you know.
Okay.
So they put this weird, freaky looking hood on him, and he goes to this, and he goes, and they're like, go ahead and talk. And he's like, I was told I was going to see Max. And he goes, we didn't tell you were going to see Max. We just said Max would see you. And he goes, well, I'm not saying shit unless you take this hood off because I got skin in the game, and I'm not
like Venom.
I'm not this guy, and I'll get you what you want. And so she says, fine. And Max is Maxine. And anonymity is great for this, and it's cool. And you think that maybe don't take the hood off because you have all the cards in this. And guys
She did tell him if they didn't like the conversation, they were going to kill him.
And he goes, listen to me. And she goes, oh, you're not Job. You're not the real Job. He's like, I'm not the real Job, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. You fire that fucking thing up. I don't know how this technology works, but somehow that thing's got a beacon in it. And the second it gets powered, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It sends, IMF is coming.
Yeah.
You got about 30 seconds before people bust through this door. Now, what I like about this is another one of those cool, fun, tense scenes. You're like, is he fucking with her? Or what's going on? And she's like, and the guy has a little Geiger counter thing, and she's like, five megajoules or whatever it is.
Was it not counting the temperature?
heat?
Yeah, because she's like, it could just be booting up, and he's like, I don't know. And then they kept getting higher.
Kept getting higher.
Oh shit!
And then we see Kittredge, right, with this cool team of people who I actually like this.
They look like the Monsters Inc. people.
Yes, like it's very weird because and again, as the series iterates, you'll start to see this change slightly. But this is not a team of badasses that I would think would go to take down Ethan Hunt. It's like one dude's like hella old, like his main guy's hella old, but he still has that badassness to him.
Yeah.
Then there's like this woman who looks like she's dressed like an older lady who like, for whatever reason, sticks a gun right in the fucking cleaning woman's like side. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Could have been less aggressive.
Yeah, a
about
little
that,
aggressive with the cleaning person, but we
you
don't
never
know.
know. Maybe the cleaning lady's part of it.
They bust in.
She's on the knock
and
list.
you know what? We trust Ethan. They're gone. They're gone. We're in the car. That was super fun. You know what, dear boy? I'll get you whatever you want. I'll give you $15 million
And
for this
Max
thing.
just wants.
She wants.
Yeah,
she's like it.
But
She
you
doesn't
can
think
tell
she grabs
Jesus.
his little ear and
Jesus
stuff
Christ.
like that. It's
Tom's
sexy.
into it though.
It's sexy.
It was bizarre.
Tom's fucking all over
Do you
in
not
this
like
movie.
it? Were you not like, oh man, I hope we see them go at it later?
There's so many characters that are deleted from the movie that he was just fucking.
Now he gets home and Claire's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going to give Max what she wants. But first, we're going to need some help. And man, we got to put this team together fast. So they got to be locals. And she's like, where are we going to find these locals? And he goes, well, I'll log back into the IMF servers, which apparently they haven't canceled my credentials for this yet. Because I get this all the time. I guess maybe he hacked back into it.
It's his dad's
knows?
login.
It's his dad's login. You forget, like everyone's using like a third person's login for the IMF servers.
But it's crazy, like, to see a world where it's like technology is not being like utilized to the way it is now, where it's like, oh, if someone logs in, it's like, cool, we'll just find where you are now. But like then there was no fear of that. No, like that wasn't common
There's no
knowledge.
understanding of
Yeah,
that.
so they couldn't use those tropes.
So because you would have had to explain what tracking an IP address was, and then the audience would have been like, "What's an IP address?"
Instead, they're just like heat signatures.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
audience like, I understand heat.
I get it.
Hot and cold.
Tracking. That makes total sense. So of course we start. This is the coolest thing. We start putting together a team, right? What are we gonna do? We get all these shots and scenes of him like going and recruiting people. No, we don't get any of that shit. We just cut to a train.
We're on a
and
train.
We're there.
It's very bright.
Jean Reno is there, and
Fucking
Ving Rhames is
Gene
there.
Reno, baby, my man.
And that's
From
Jean
Ani
Reno?
Musha 3.
Is that how
Yeah.
you say his name?
Jean. Yeah, he's French.
Professional.
I've always called him
He was
Gene.
in Paris in
Leon.
Yeah.
Ani Musha 3.
He looks like Marco Bellinelli. There's a basketball player for the Spurs called Marco Bellinelli, and he looks a lot like this actor, and they call him the Professional.
I love it. So instead of wasting time recruiting these people, we just cut to a cool bullet train scene, right? And he goes, "What are we doing here?" And he goes, He's like, "Where's the target?" And he goes, "Langley." And he goes, "CIA headquarters,
kidding me?
Langley?" And he goes, "That's going to be really hard." And Tom Cruise has the best line in the whole movie where he's like, "Relax. It's way harder than you think." And then goes to describe what they're going to steal. He's like, "We're going to steal this piece of information. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Because that's going to be for later. That's going to be when you see me
need
going
to
through the
reveal.
screen."
I love
But
that.
right now,
Like, well, I'm not doing this unless you tell me. He's like, it's gonna be fun. He's like, all right, I'm in.
yeah, fuck he goes, and then we go and we describe the world's most overly secure computer vault that looks a lot like it's either from 2001: A Space Odyssey or
inspired by that.
Star Wars, which is both cool and completely ridiculous. The thing's got a chair that comes out from the bottom of it. There's pressure sensors on the floor. There's a temperature sensor. And then there's also a sound sensor in this thing.
Now, here's the thing. I don't want to get ahead of this too much, but like the temperature thing is the thing that I was like, maybe I just missed a line of dialogue
stole it from
that explained
Sneakers.
this. But like, could they control the temperature?
It was that thing he was remember when he came down, he was holding a thing the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is he holding that? And then when he gets to the bottom, he looks at the temperature indicator and it's at like 72.9. It's about to go to 7.3. And then he puts it next to it and it's just blowing cold air at it.
Okay.
And that just drops.
I saw him do that,
Yeah.
but I was
Yeah.
like, I still just didn't get what
It was, that was such a silly
Doesn't
thing.
matter.
Hey,
Doesn't
but they
matter.
had to get rid of the
You
temperature.
just threw
thing.
ice cubes.
Yeah.
So we've got all these amazing security details, but the one little hole we could put a fucking a bomb down to blow up the Death Star is
Oh, you
that
forgot about the lasers.
there's
forgot
lasers.
about the lasers.
There's lasers up top, but they still somehow made the air vent big enough for 2 guys to climb through, which is ridiculous. And if you know anything about air vents, they're not that. They're
ain't how
never
it
that
goes.
big. Never any fucking doesn't matter.
I don't know,
Gotta get
Nick.
through
Do
the
you know
laser.
anything about air vents?
I know more than
Die
you
Hard.
think about air vents from the movie Die Hard. No, the air vent is like the best trope from the 80s and 90s for any action movies. I digress. But we can beat these lasers real easy because we got this cool piece of tech. It doesn't fucking
Super
matter.
cool. Easily the most expensive thing they own.
Absolutely.
Because that thing's got to be super
What did it
expensive.
do?
It just like
It refocused
diverts
the
them.
beams.
Yeah.
That's great. Like I saw it happen, but I was like, how is it doing this magic?
It's really cool.
So we're in, man. We don't waste any fucking time trying to figure out where we're gonna steal a fire truck from. We're just in, baby. Fire alarms going off. 3 guys in full fire gear walk through the most heavily guarded place on the planet, probably CIA
firemen,
headquarters in Langley, but they figured it the fuck out, right?
Would you trust a fireman?
Yeah, I would trust
you
firemen.
Very
You
few
always
people.
trust
I would
Yeah,
trust a
I would
fireman
trust
to
more than
deliver
a
my
fireman.
baby if I had a baby that needed delivered.
Don't they have some training for it?
Sure, you would
I'm
think
sure
so,
they're
right?
ready for it.
Doesn't matter. They walk
God
through.
bless them.
Claire peels off. And of course, again, the security in CIA headquarters is just terrible. One of these people just literally peels off and goes to the bathroom and no one says anything, right? Then they go into this room and they start getting undressed or whatever. And a guy comes and he's like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing in here? I'm the one security guard for this entire facility.
guiding you.
And
There was
I
one more of you.
Like, what's going on? There was one more of you. And then John Renew's about to stab him with a cool knife that has a plastic handle. And you're like, oh, I've seen that knife. But Tom Cruise stops him and goes, 0 body count. Just knock him out.
That's really cool.
We'll see.
moment.
But he
Real
stopped.
cool
But he
moment.
grabs his arm, and you see the knife for a second. You're like, "Oh, motherfucker!
Teasing.
Is this the motherfucker that stabbed Kristen Scott?"
Did you
Thomas
notice the
15
knife?
fucking times?
I did not.
Okay,
no.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
I noticed it here, and then you notice it again, of course, when he drops it, and it's in
Yeah.
dual focus. Anyway, so we go to this 2-stage plan, right? Plan number 1 is this guy, this nerdy dumb fuck tech guy that apparently. I don't know what he does with this list. I guess he's the only one that keeps this list.
Do you think that he
accurate.
just gets phone calls every once in a while and adds a name?
I guess I don't know. I haven't figured out what.
Address updates? Okay, hold on.
I haven't figured out what the
Avenue
practicality
Street.
of having this information so well guarded and like, not being able to get to it at like a drop of a dime. I don't know what the point of this is. But,
But
it
his
doesn't
name
fucking
is
matter.
perfect to be said as William Donlow.
So he goes
Poor
and
guy.
he's having some lunch. He's like, I'm gonna get a cup of coffee, right? Having some coffee, reading his paper, and Claire squirts a little. What you have to assume is just the worst substance into his coffee.
And honestly, like, I have never seen 2 people sit that close together in any situation,
If someone-
even couples. Like her hand was touching his
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he thought
this
she
is
wanted
fucking-
it.
But he did. He could not have
So
given less of
oblivious.
a fuck.
Yeah.
He has his newspaper, which made me think I've never read a newspaper.
You've never
and
read
it's
a
weird that
newspaper?
like we live in an age where it's like I'll never read a newspaper.
I used to read the funnies on Sunday
Well,
mornings.
that's I did that. Family Circus shout out. But like besides that, it's like
I really
our
enjoyed the
kids aren't going to
San
read
Francisco
newspapers. There might not even be newspapers.
There aren't
Fuck
anymore.
newspapers.
We don't need anymore. She puts the little dot on him, right? It's the tracking mark, which is great. So now we can see him coming back and forth to the shitter, so he can throw up all over the place.
Which is great.
He starts hurling. He gets out of the thing, and then we get the scene, right? Where Jean Reno, I don't know how he's doing this, but he's lowering him down very slowly. But then when he wants to, he can pull him back real fast.
Real fast.
Real fast.
Also, it's incredibly heavy for him.
Yeah.
Now, we've done...
You've belayed me before.
Yeah, and you belayed me.
Yeah.
It's not heavy. Because of the way it's like set up.
It's not heavy
it takes
in that
the weight.
I don't know that I could pull you back up, though.
Sure,
like I can stop
sure.
you from going down, but
Yeah.
if I had to
But
pull you
what I'm
back
saying
up,
is
it would be
when
at
you
least...
stop me,
Yeah.
it's not like...
No. I would just go like, you just
But,
do
like,
this and it stops.
Every scene it cuts back to him, he's like...
He's,
Yeah, they have to build a tension.
dying. He's
just
dying.
sweating. And it's
then-
so good.
I do like that when Tom Cruise is first lowered and he's like stomach to the ground and then does that really quick sort of gymnastics
Hella
move to
cool.
like be quiet and like his little tippy toes on the
Right.
So cool.
Again, this is going to be a trending thing in this show, but practical stunts. Tom Cruise did a lot of that stuff.
Love it.
And while filming the famous scene in which Tom Cruise drops from the ceiling and hovers inches above the ground, Cruise's head kept hitting the floor until he got the idea to put coins in his shoes for balance.
Oh wow!
So
Genius.
smart.
Genius.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's why they call him Mr. Coin
Wow.
Shoes. And of course we get the shot where the split diopter shot where we get the rat coming back and you're like, oh shit, the rat's gonna fucking chew his face off and kill him or whatever. This guy's a real tough guy, but a fucking rat freaks him the fuck out. Doesn't matter. It cuts for a second. He slams the rat and Ethan falls all the way to the ground and stops. And this is the most
fucks that
iconic
rat up,
scene.
man.
This is the most iconic scene in any Mission Impossible movie where he's just hovering an inch over the ground, just silence,
So badass.
silence, right? Great use of silence.
Yeah.
He looks so stupid
Right.
though.
He does look
like,
dumb.
Dope.
Well, he just looks scared as fuck. Like,
Yeah,
I love
and then
it.
he gets,
But
and
it's
we get the
cool, yeah.
shot where he's starting to sweat
and
the
suddenly
sweat's dripping.
suddenly there's 5 feet between him and the floor. Once
Yeah, where he can
catch
go
it.
and do this. But we don't just get a shot. We get like 4 of
There's
those
15
shots.
shots,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
Where
so many-
just
it's a
like
giant
the sweat, the bead is
glob of sweat.
forming. Now it's rolling. Now there's another one.
It's great.
So we figured out he pulls him back up. He starts hacking the computer. Pops a little. He's got 2 discs because he's smart.
I would have been so scared
Because he's smart.
to drop a
You don't
disc.
bring one disc.
Well,
one disc
but
won't do.
You
got
put
2
him in
discs.
2 different pockets. You don't put him in one pocket because he grabbed both, and the other one was like
Could've
barely,
easily slipped out.
barely hanging on.
Easily slipped out.
I was like, he's bold.
Throws in the disc, starts copying over all the information, and this is where we finally figure out like Luther finally figures out, oh shit, you're copying the knock list. And we get for the first time that Luther's a cool guy. Luther's not
Luther's
he's not
fucking
happy with
awesome.
this.
I love
He's like,
Luther.
Ethan, are you sure you want to get this fucking, because I'm not cool with this, man. I might be disavowed, but I'm still one of the homies. I still play for the fucking team, if you know what I'm talking about, the right side of the law.
Does he say anything to him to like
He does
be like, oh,
eventually.
no, but like
Well, not on
in
this.
that moment, no.
No, I think
do
later he
love
goes-
because he couldn't talk.
Well, I do love that Luther knows that there's a sweat drop about to fall off of Tom Cruise's head. We're like, when
he
he
can see
catches a tear, when he catches it, yeah, Luther goes,
That's great. Yeah.
Like, you didn't know
He got
shit.
the Betamax, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on, I want to let you know that this episode of In Review is brought to you. Welcome back, Nick.
Kevin, can you move really quick? Can you just get down? Because I really want to look like this woman's trying to shoot me. Like, I don't have the knock list. You know what I mean?
Dude, this isn't KFAF.
Does it look like that?
No.
It's good. I like it. I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
That was fun.
So we got the knock list, and guess what? We're gonna
The
pop
knock list.
We're gonna get the knock list. We're gonna have the knock list. We're gonna pop. We got the full knock list though. This is the important thing, right? It's not just the European. This ain't that bullshit shit Job was trying to do. This is the full worldwide knock list. Everyone that's ever done anything is gonna die if this list gets out. We pop smoke. We get the hell out of there. I think this is a cool scene. Pop smoke. They get back in the costumes. Like, we're gonna get everyone out of there, and then no one questions why
They
those
just
people
left.
gone right.
The
Doesn't
knife
matter.
really cool though.
Oh right, I forgot.
Oh, that
he's-
was such an intense
Yeah.
moment.
he killed the rat, but did you get the feeling that he was going to kill Ethan in this scene? Because I upon second view, I was like, what was he doing with that? Why was that knife out? Because when
No,
he
I thought it.
he had the knife out,
Yeah, that's true.
and I didn't know if he was going to stab Ethan in the face and just take the thing because later we realized this guy's not a good guy.
Messy.
And the
thought
knife
he
falls,
was-
and it's the same knife that again we see that knife for the third time.
Go ahead, Barrett.
I thought he was planning on cutting like the cord that Ethan was attached to once he
leaving
got up.
Ethan
like-
there.
Possible, but I felt there was a betrayal afoot.
No, I didn't think so. I thought he was just like messy.
But why did he
like-
have the knife out? That's a great thing I hadn't thought about
The way
before.
the shots were in order, it made it look like he was trying to cut like the wire once Ethan got back up.
There was
At
a
least for
rat.
me.
There was more than one rat in those vents.
Exactly.
Oh.
But we're out. Everyone's a little pissed at Jean Reno because he kind of fucked us. And he kind of sucks. It's like Wayne Grove from Heat, where it's like, you kind of fucked us. We want to kill you and put you in the back of a car and just disappear your body. But we're good people, so it doesn't matter. We're back to the safe house in London, I think we're back now.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And Tom Cruise rocking a leather jacket
Yeah.
with a deep V-neck
Yeah,
sweater.
yeah.
Just, what were you thinking? Was that a thing? I remember that being a thing back in the day. I tried to rock that look, but I was a little too portly to make it work. The sweater always looked kind of like a wetsuit on
Yeah.
me.
I mean, the deep
we've
V's
been
in like
there.
the emo phase in like the late 2000s were
It
really
was-
strong.
It was
as well.
beautiful. But Jean Reno's like, who are you emailing back? Are you emailing back with a person that's gonna? Don't think you're gonna cut old fucking professional out of this one, Mister. I'm coming with you. And he goes, I got the list. I got all the power. He goes, do you have the list? I'm gonna do a magic trick and disappear this one. You don't know which one you have.
Now again, You might be surprised to learn.
Yeah.
The trick with the disappearing and reappearing CD that Ethan Hunt does to fool Franz Krieger is not a camera trick or any other visual effect, but a genuine sleight
Real
of hand
stunts.
trick.
Wow.
Tom Cruise is dedicated.
So cool.
Everyone back in the day was like, Tom, there's no point in putting this much dedication into it. We'll do the thing.
Well,
We'll
I
cut
bet
away.
you this scene. No,
And he
here's
goes,
the
no,
thing.
I'm dedicated. And now guess what? Joke's on them because he's a big star. And
That wasn't even going to be a part of the scene, and then he just did it. And they're like, we got to include that.
Shit.
No, but one of the things that like
Close-up magic.
is actually true is that this movie saved money because Tom Cruise did so many of his own stunts.
Really?
Yeah, it came in under budget.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Under budget and on time. That's all you got to make it.
Yeah, I do. Like this scene, although cheesy, I still think is like pretty clever at always kind of misguiding the audience
Yeah.
into what you think is going to happen.
Well,
where
because he's like, hey,
like you're never a part of it.
Yeah.
You're the one also getting surprised by these moments.
And
you
I
know?
like that. And I like that we have this great scene. There's tension. And he goes, "You don't have the list. I have the list." Where you're thinking to yourself, what was happening in that room? You didn't know. I had 2 lists. And he goes, "Fuck you. You try to screw me over. I'll gut you like a fish." Whatever. Throws the list. And at this point, I'd be like, "Don't throw it too hard into the basket because that's like a CD in there."
Yeah.
But everyone leaves, and then he looks over at Luther, and he picks the one out of the list that
Out of the
Jean
trash,
Krieger threw into the trash, throws him in there, and he's like, he had it the whole time. He's like, I'm smarter than him, but I'm going to give this to you. And then Luther goes, I'm never going to let this list see the light of day. I got a lot of friends on this thing. And he goes, that's why I'm giving it to you, because that's not the intent. The intent's just let's just kill all the bad guys, but the list is going back. And he goes, cool. And this may or may not, spoilers, form a friendship that lasts a lot of films.
Oh, Jesus.
You see? Why did you single me out?
Nick,
Why did you single me
Why
out?
the fuck would you do that?
He sucks.
We called it, Kevin. We called it.
at it.
You see what I'm talking about? I get all this blame.
Audio
and here
listeners,
he is.
he's doing us.
Will Ving Rhames be back in the second one? We'll see. We'll
Jesus
see.
Christ.
We'll see.
Is it microscope?
Well,
Was he looking at a
I don't
microscope?
know.
Yeah,
What's
I'm looking.
gonna be-
Biography, biology.
Biography.
At some point, we are going back and forth with Max. I think it was in the scene prior to this where he's going back and forth on the interwebs with Max, and he's trying to find more quotes to say, "Hey, the King's Gold" or whatever. I got the freaking Nautilus. But then at some point, he flips the book back and notices there's a stamp on it, and he goes, "Oh shit, this is from the Drake Hotel."
Drake Hotel.
The Drake Hotel. Those damn Gideons. They stamped it, didn't they? Right.
love that.
And he realizes, this is Jim. Maybe not. It wasn't who was gonna. So then he calls Kittredge because he sees his parents have been, I guess, arrested for drug dealers.
This is in the London train station.
Yeah,
right?
he's in the London train station. Calls Kittredge, watches the clock. Right. He wants Kittredge to know he's in London. We get that
but
sense.
not
because
exactly
he's-
where in London.
Not exactly where. Boom, boom, boom. Kittredge, if I'm the person you said I am, if I just killed if I stabbed, exploded, and shot my entire team, why would you think I'd give a shit that you're taking my parents to the courthouse to be hauled off to the courthouse? And Kittredge is really close, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking get you. He's like, "Yarr!" And then he just hangs up the phone. Right? We know he's in London, but we don't know where in London. So we can track people. We're not very good at it. As
Hung
CIA
up too
yet.
quickly.
Hung up too quickly, right? And then reveal Jim been standing next to him the entire movie.
Yeah, dude.
We go back all the other scenes, Jim right back behind him the entire time. Jim's there. He's been shot. He tried to track him down, but by the time he tracked down, he was gone. He was out of Prague. So we figured, hey, you're gonna come to London eventually. This is the other place. So I'm here. Of course, we know that this guy's a bad guy. We already know this because we saw the Drake Hotel thing. Some shit's going on, and he goes, it was Kittredge. Kittredge is the mole the entire time, right? And Tom, again, another one of these cool scenes.
Yeah, it's
goes,
a really cool scene where they're sitting together in like a cafe.
yeah,
right?
they're at the cafe
yeah.
in the train, and he goes, he's like, how did he do it? He must have killed everyone, right? He must have had another team there. His team must have killed everyone. But he's saying this to Jim, but what he's really figuring out is that like we're seeing him say one thing to Jim, but we're seeing the reality, which is that Jim actually killed everyone. And even potentially, it could have been Claire that blew up the car, but we don't know yet. Because it could have been Jim crawling out of the fucking river and blowing up the car immediately afterward, because how would he know? I don't know. Doesn't matter. There's still a little shadow of doubt as to whether or not Claire knows that Jim's but don't tell her. I don't want her to let's just get this thing done, and then I'll let her know later.
Don't
that
tell her
I'm
that
alive.
I'm
It's like
alive
Clue or
still.
something.
Yeah.
Like we're learning along with them. It's pretty cool.
But it's cool how he figures it out. He immediately figures
She
out
was like,
this
don't
guy's a
tell
bad
her that
guy.
I'm alive yet. The things she must have done to stay alive. And it's just like, that's weird.
Yeah, like have
Like,
sex
what do
with
you-
Tom Cruise.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So, but that didn't happen yet.
No, it didn't.
What
Not
happens
yet.
is that he goes back to the safe house. And then she's there, and he's like, I guess now is the time I'm going to bone. Let's
Now
bone.
that I know your husband's
He's
alive.
a piece of shit, but I bet he betrayed us and
guess.
killed everyone. I'm gonna just dig the knife in a little deeper when I finally put a bullet in this guy's head, and we're gonna bang a little bit, because our chemistry is palpable. That's for sure. Man, it's hot.
Hot scenes.
Hot scene.
But real quick, the lady that died, that made out with him, was in the beginning.
Yeah.
That got stabbed through the fence.
Yeah.
Was that his girlfriend?
No, because they set up that she was supposed to go on a date with Jack.
Yeah.
Which was the Emilio Estevez character. So they were supposed. I guess they had some sort of flirtation. Where remember he's like, you have beautiful eyes.
Yeah, I saw
you
that
don't have
moment.
any.
Weird,
Yeah. So they were supposed to have some sort of flirtation. The chemistry was kind of off.
No, they were
It didn't
just
really
like
work.
fake kissing against the wall.
Right.
To like.
He was just
I saw
it was
a little
supposed to
bit
be
of real
romantic.
kissing.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me tell you,
it's
dude.
Tom Cruise. You stand next to Tom Cruise.
You're
You're gonna
gonna
fucking
look
make
like
out
you're
with
in
him.
love.
You're gonna put your tongue in
Especially
Tom
then.
Cruise.
Whether he's 60 years old or 25 or 30 or whatever.
Doesn't matter. Great arms. So Kittredge lands with his old ass guy. That's his heavy, and they get a note. They get a note from Tom Cruise from Ethan Hunt saying, "Hey, get on the bullet train at 5 or whatever time. Just get on there. Just trust me. Get on there, right?" So everyone's on this train, and we get this bomb, 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 weird music. Which at this point, I'm like, who did the music for this movie? Because it sounds like Batman Returns. And then I looked it up, and sure as shit, Danny Elfman did the music for this.
Did do the
I
music
had
for
no
it.
idea.
Wow, it reminded me a lot of like Home Alone. Also,
It
like,
was- it-
like some parts were like really like frolicking through like fields of flowers, and
Yeah.
some parts were really
Very
like
Danny Elfman.
sinister.
It's
and-
very
So,
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman scored the film, but only after Alan Silvestri of Avengers fame and Forrest Gump was let go from mission after his music tested poorly with test audiences. But don't feel too bad for him. He was able to reuse most of the score in the 1996 action movie Eraser.
Wow.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, that one went
Wow.
to shit very, very fast. We're on this train. Max is there. We get her the list, but spoilers, we're not going to let her get this list because Luther's also there, and he's got a cool Nokia phone that blocks everyone's stuff and is totally great, and he sets it up. Kittredge is there too. Holy shit, Kittredge is on the plane. Oh my God, Claire sees him. Shit, Kittredge is here. We got to go warn Ethan.
Everyone has laptops.
Someone somewhere is making a cool gun that they snuck onto the train, which I guess the trains have security. You can't get guns on.
I guess.
Just a bunch of people on the train living in the moment. You
I
know,
guess so,
all their
right?
But it was a
laptops
really
reading the
cool
news.
gun. What was he making it out of?
Yeah, components that he had in his pocket.
But it
was just
looked
some
like
sort
he
of
was
gun
taking apart like a computer battery and like other different like a phone part.
No, yeah, no, I don't think he was. I think
It was a sneaky
These
guy.
were parts that were hidden to.
to make a gun.
It's not like he was MacGyvering.
No,
it.
I'm sorry, I
yeah.
misspoke. No,
Yeah.
he had a gun that he snuck on through different components that when
Yeah.
you would compile them together. Very similar to In the Line of Fire, where John Malkovich's character had to sneak a gun in to kill the president. Spoilers. It doesn't work. So this is coming together, yada, yada, yada. Ving Rhames is stopping the signal. She's like, we got to get the signal going. We got to get this whole list sent out before we get into the tunnel, or else we'll have to wait till the other side of the tunnel, which would suck. And Ving Rhames goes, cool, I'm just going to point this at you and leave, right? And everything's good, except for this fucking snitch of a waiter.
Idiot.
Just, hey, man, you forgot your phone. And then everyone's like, oh, I can't. Oh, everyone, by the way, from that seat forward on their phone. And they all go, I lost my signal. What the fuck happened? I don't understand what's going on. And then everyone's like, oh, it's that guy. And then Kitchen's like, oh, it's that guy.
that?
And then he goes
the
and
porn
waits.
star. I was like, oh, that guy.
Everyone, it's that guy.
Yeah.
This is very confusing, but at a certain point,
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
The guy
I
with
didn't
the long blonde hair.
Like,
Yeah.
yes.
He was
yes.
in Pirates.
I didn't realize who you were even talking about in Mission Impossible, but now, yes.
Fabio
blonde guy
looking
with,
dude.
the blonde guy
Right.
with the shoulders,
Yeah.
right? Go get him. Go get him. She says, Max, when they were talking, goes, hey, this is great. Here's the list. Cool. Your money's in the luggage compartment back there. So go get your money in the luggage compartment, which I guess she tells Claire that, right? Because Claire's the one delivering the list. And then anyway, Claire goes back, and who do we see in the luggage compartment? Jim Phelps.
Jonathan Voight.
John Voight, right? And he's not saying anything. He's just staring at her real creepily, right? And then she goes, hey, we got the money. Let's just get out of here. We don't have to kill Ethan. Like, I'm actually kind of a cool person, but I did dick him over. But let's just get the bearer bonds. Let's just go. Let's just go, right?
He did
We'll just
dick
go.
in me too.
And then Ethan, and then John Voight goes, cool, and then tears off his face, and it's Ethan. Oh my God, it's Ethan again. Holy shit!
cool. That was pretty
What
cool.
a great plan, right? Right?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that for whatever reason, John Voight hiding right behind him the entire time. Very weird. Like you'd think if you saw you walk in, you'd be like, I think I should just kill this guy.
You saw
right?
you walk in.
Like if you saw you walk in And,
Don't wait to reveal it to him. Just shoot him in like
the
fucking
fucking head.
I gotta get this guy.
But I guess he had to figure out where the bear bonds were. We did yada yada yada. He goes, "You're the only one that knows that I'm alive, and when I kill you, I'm with these bear bonds scot free, and no one's gonna know." Except Ethan goes, "Hold on, who?" Takes out his little glasses, which John Voight knows what this technology is, and it's probably like, "Holy shit, just shoot him in the fucking face." And he goes, "You're wrong about one thing. You're not the only one that's seen me." And boom, Kittredge has it on his cool smartwatch too. "Hello, Mr. Phelps.
Wow.
I can't wait to get you in an interrogation room. I'm gonna waterboard your ass to death.
Damn.
It's gonna be great." And he goes, "Shit, that sucks." For whatever reason, shoots Claire first,
Yeah.
which is weird.
So
So
was
dumb.
weird.
I was like, I think she's on your team, man. Like, could have really helped you out with the situation 2-on-1. Like, it would.
Yeah.
We shoot her, and then I guess misses Ethan. Or whatever, and then goes, "Fuck it, I'm out of this thing." Right? We see Jean Reno in the helicopter,
Yeah, you
and he
did.
goes up, pop up into this amazing bullet train. I love this scene. I love this
I
scene
also enjoy this scene.
because they're going so fast that he has to stay glued to the top of it. Or else he
Yeah, they
gets,
have those cool magnet things
Yeah,
that we saw earlier.
I was very impressed with this scene overall, where I was like, wow, this is pretty high production value, like high choreography
96, yeah.
for 1996 for an action scene. I was like, this is impressive as fuck.
I think it's cool, right? And so obviously, like he said, the plan here was Jim Phelps was going to take the bear bonds and then I guess hook himself to this helicopter and just fly away. But Ethan doesn't like that because Ethan goes, "Fuck it," takes all his shit off. And I like that the part where like he looks over and the tie like whips past his face, and you just know he's not letting this fucking shit go. This won't do, and just says "fuck it" and let's go, and just slides all the way over, knocking Jim off, grabs the thing, grabs the hook. Hooks into the train right as it's about, and he's trying to pull the helicopter. And you see the terror in John Reno's face, like, "Oh shit, what the fuck am I gonna do now?" We're about to go into the tunnel. The signal's about to go. It's almost done. It's almost done. Would you figure maybe they got half the list? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I guess back in the day, information if it didn't already
didn't
go
buffer.
through.
No, yeah, because it tells us that.
Yeah.
Like there's a it said like upload canceled, something terminated.
Yeah, terminated.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
lost the whole thing. She's like, "Shit, I guess we'll have to wait
We'll
till
have
the
to
end of
wait
this
again.
tunnel. This sucks." And John Reno has a decision to make. Do I slam this helicopter into the side of this tunnel, or do I just say "fuck it"? And he just nosedives into the tunnel. And then we get the great scene with the guy. I guess that's in the behind conductor, who's like, "No, it's in the fight. There's a helicopter in the fucking tunnel." No, seriously. No, seriously.
It's attached to us.
It's attached to us.
This is why I love it, because I think this is such a great action scene because it keeps ramping up.
ramps
up.
Everyone thought that helicopter was going to hit the fucking
Explode, right?
No.
No.
It goes down, and once that whole scene starts, I'm like, this is so stupid, but I'm fucking here.
It's so
for it.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, and it keeps getting better and
Yeah.
better
Oh,
with the propellers and like the danger of that.
Where it's like
But
trying
this
to- like
came
there's some propeller
first.
trying to cut
so
him.
Fast and Furious is so Mission Impossible.
No, but that's why I guess I've kind of forgot this whole scene in the movie. Like,
Well, because it's the only
Me too,
action scene
but
in the
it's
movie.
so over the top and it's so like for its time ridiculous as hell. And I guess when we were watching Fast and Furious and they start ramping up their action scenes and it gets more and more ridiculous, this, I guess the first movie in Mission Impossible starts off as ridiculous as
It's
possible.
cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. I enjoyed it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is really the only big action set piece in this entire film, right?
The aquarium would be the second one.
Yeah,
Because the only
that
other
kinda-
scene that's notable
I
is,
mean, it
is the
just has a
scene
big moment.
where he falls into the vault, but that's
Yeah.
not action. That's all just tension and like silence. And so this is like this came out of kind of nowhere for me. I was like, oh, okay. Where he's hanging off the side of the train, has to grab the little thing, and then boom, doesn't get smushed, and then
the
goes
CG of Leon the Professional in the helicopter
right.
like, looked terrible.
Like the blur they were doing around everything.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh.
Not good.
So Jim Phelps jumps over to the one little hooky thingy that people hang on to, and the helicopter takes off. And then John Reneau's like, "I'm gonna fucking carve this guy's face off with these propellers," but the back hits the top of the tunnel, which
Fucking dumb
would have
shit.
totally fucked up the entire road.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Whoa. Let's stay in our lane here. We'll
Yeah.
just get out of here, right? The thing's unhooked. He unhooks it, and Ethan slides down onto the window, and he takes out the gum, right? And he jumps out, and we have this cool scene where it's like this triumphant moment where it's like the music goes, whatever, right? He grabs, and as he grabs it, it's
Yeah.
right? We hear the
So
fucking
good.
thing kick in, and he just looks at the motherfucker and goes, red light, green light, slams the thing,
Fuck yeah.
and as he jumps, it
good.
explodes him back onto the train.
Hell yeah, it does.
Fucking Jim Phelps gets nailed into the
Oh
ground.
my
It's a
god,
fiery
just
death.
obliterated.
Copter's still coming out.
Yeah.
This is the point, I guess, where the train conductor up front was like, we should probably stop. Right? And he's like, no, don't stop, motherfucker. Because this thing comes and he goes, whoop, 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 whoop,
Oh my god.
right at it, like a half an inch away from his throat. And we've won.
Fuck yeah, we did.
We cut. Max is being arrested by Kittredge. He's like, we got a lot to talk about. She's like, my lawyer's gonna have a field day. He's like, I'm the CIA. You're not getting fucking lawyers. You're going to some horrible hole in Guantanamo Bay. And she's like, but we get the sense that Max is surviving. She's like, I got something. I'm sure I've got something that you need.
Yeah.
She's just like, you know what? Let's get a drink at the aquarium.
you
I know
do.
this dope aquarium bar in Prague.
Dope aquarium.
Let's go do this. We cut and we're at a nice beer garden in London. And this
We get their version of the Fast and Furious barbecue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel
Yeah,
and
It's the debriefing.
it's not the last time.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
We have to look at this.
But it's kind of like their thing. Like,
It's a thing where they do like to decompress afterward.
Yeah,
We'll just say
it's
that.
cool, it's cool.
We've got that song. Take my hand.
Yeah. The cranberries just hailing in the background. Like, why?
And I was like, is that thematically relevant? I don't know.
No,
It's a great
it was
song.
very weird.
Right?
It was so 90s though. I fucking loved it.
So this is the coolest part of this whole movie because he goes, hey man, what's it like being back on the avowed list? Like, he's like, feels good, man. I'm going back to work. He's like, you should come back with me. And Ethan's like, you know what? I think I'm going to give up this spy thing forever unless this movie does really, really well. And then we're going to make 5 sequels. We're going to make 5 sequels. I think I'm going to give it up forever, man. I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to go on a first class plane trip somewhere. And I'm gonna fuck off. And then we cut to him, and he's relaxing, man. He's had a hard time, and he's about to have a cocktail. And the stewardess comes up to him and says, "Would you like to enjoy a movie on a cool Sony mini disc laser thing?" And he goes, "Nah, I'm good." She's like, "Are you sure? How about Cinema of the Caribbean?" And he goes, "What do you recommend?" And she gives him the thing. It's and then the baddest fucking techno version of this song we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Should have been Moby, but he passed up on this. And we get. More importantly, that he is now the new Jim Phelps. He's now the team leader.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's going to be given the missions. And spoilers, he ain't out.
I love it, man. I
That's
fucking
it.
love it.
So much
Kev,
fun.
I'm going to give you a little honor here.
What?
All right.
Oh my God.
You get the chance.
Oh my God.
Oh,
if
no.
you want to take this mantle to
It's
host
happening.
a show ranking villains, but you're going to need to on the spot right now come up with a name for the podcast.
It's gonna be you and me. If I
Does it mean you? I'm going to call it Villain Impossible. That's what we're going to call it.
Not bad.
I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad.
Andy,
What's up? The theme song?
Yeah, make it up, dude.
Villain Impossible.
Why can't we just drag it back? What the fuck?
I don't know. Do back and then we'll just do it.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Villain.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Villain Impossible. Oh, I'm sorry, you go.
No, it's fine. You know, you've never been on this show before. You go ahead and host it for me.
Of course, this is where rad guys talking bad guys.
Nope.
We're the rad guys. They're bad guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna be ranking the villains in the Mission Impossible franchise. Of course, starting it off. I guess Jim Phelps would be the villain
Yeah.
in this, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Kittredge. We'll take Kittredge Phelps.
But I feel like Kittredge, henchman.
Comes around.
Yeah, comes around. Good guy.
Comes around at the end.
Super good
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
So where are we ranking him?
Ron. I mean, right now you can't put him anywhere.
Number
but
one. There it is. Number one right there.
Wow.
Thank
There you
you.
have it.
Thank you.
I really wish he would have reprised his fucking like weird accent he had in Anaconda, where he was the
Jim Phelps, or it was like
John
Jamaican,
Voight,
or
where he
John
was
Voight. Yeah,
Hey, you cannot be around here.
it was very weird.
It was like when all the Jewish people played Cubans in Scarface.
Yeah,
It was like
that
that,
was very
yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot he was in
Brian De Palma.
Anaconda.
Yeah.
Shout out to J-Lo.
Yeah.
Shout
And
out
Ice Cube.
to J-Lo, dude. Oh my God, speaking of J-Lo, we're going to look at this picture on Internet Explorer.
Great.
But do you see that she got proposed
Oh, no.
to
Oh, the rock,
recently?
the ring.
And it's the fucking biggest, it's like 15
It looks
carats
like a
or something.
Pokemon badge.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Seriously. But what's so fucking funny is there's a picture and it's J-Lo's hand over the last 20 years with 5 different rings on it. And it's like, she's like the
Thanos.
fucking Thanos.
That's awesome.
That's great.
God bless
So
her.
good.
God bless
So
her.
damn good. Now it's time for Haiku in Review.
7 syllables in the middle. You'll need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review. Everybody now stop.
What do we got today? Game Attack's Sean Bolin.
Wait.
Writes in. He says, tell the best friends that I love them. He's all about the Mission Impossible in review. He wrote this one. He calls it the Hellavada.
Okay.
All right. Starts like this. Red light, green light, fight.
Hellavada.
Hellavada.
Like
Like
elevator.
a hell elevator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Red light, green light, fight. Emilio's eyes get stabbed.
Oh God.
Should have mighty ducked.
Wow. Very good.
That was good, Bolin.
Very good.
That was
Bolin.
good.
You got a future in this.
Let's see. What do we got here from Patreon? We got Jay Pimentel who says the espionage. Amazing gadgets and heist. Signature theme song.
Fuck yeah.
It's true. It's true. KCW says it might get better. Loose cannon is too cliche. Cruz is hella jacked. Blackjack says not bliss floppy disk. Famous ceiling drop of doom. Red light, green light, boom.
And made a rhyme too.
That was
I meant to make a joke. Can we go back? Can we edit this back in where Tom Cruise is about to bang the French girl?
Yeah.
And I was gonna say that he gave her his cruise missile.
Oh, he gave her the Scud missile.
Yeah, and cruise because of Tom Cruise.
He gave her the Scud missile.
Matt Rohrbeck says that theme song, Let's Go. Holy shit, everyone's dead. It's slow, but solid. Joel says Tom Cruise is a spy. John Voight is the bad guy. Red light, green light, bye. A lot of red light, green light going on. I appreciate that.
Because it's great.
That's
Red light,
good.
green
It is
light,
good.
man. Yeah.
Matt Bowers ends this saying, don't chew that gum, Ethan. You made that disc disappear. How'd you do that?
Did he do that? How did you do that?
Sleight of hand, man.
Sleight of hand, man.
What does it mean? I wonder how he did it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to rank the Mission Impossible franchise. Since we do not have Greg on this iteration of the show, Barrett Courtney will be the deciding vote to make, because we need 5. You know what I mean? We need, or at least we need an odd number.
Yeah, just in case.
You know what I mean? So that's how we're gonna do this. I was considering taking away Kevin's vote, but I decided this was a better way.
I would have fought you.
That would have been funny.
I would have fought you for it.
Excellent.
What do we think about this movie? Because honestly, it being my first time watching it,
Yeah.
it was entertaining. I'm very excited to see where this goes. The end action scene, I was like very impressed with how ambitious it was. This movie was slow though, and at
Very slow.
Almost every point, I was like, I really don't understand what's going on. Like I get what's happening and why, but like it's dumb reasons, and this is not well put together from a lore perspective.
Now that's a lot of the rest of the franchise, I would say, where even upon watching recent ones, there are a lot of moments of like, who are they trying to get? Why are they trying to get them? Why did that person do this? You know, there's a lot of those moments. This movie, upon rewatching it, I can't believe how much I really enjoyed it. Like, I was expecting to go back and watch an action movie from the mid 1990s and it be not good and have a lot of terrible writing and stuff. I thought it was super clever in a lot of moments, really cheesy, but like incredibly entertaining. I did not expect to like it as much as I did.
You said something earlier
back
that
around.
it's like Clue, and it's like kind of like
Yeah.
the audience never knows what's
twists
going
and
on.
turns.
Yeah, I love twists in movies. They're probably my favorite things that movies do.
Same thing.
I feel like this does the twist that I don't like, which is there's no way we could have known what's going on. I like
think
at least
there
getting
is,
ideas.
but I think the problem with this movie is that a lot of the stuff is set up, but there's a lot of it, and it's set up real early, and it's set up with one
Very
line,
quick, yeah.
and you have to they set up the Gideon Bible thing, like the Jim Phelps payoff. I thought was huge. I was like, oh, that's cool, but it's also like it's a very. You're like, wait, what's a Gideon Bible? The Draco? Oh, that's right. He stayed at the Drake Hotel. That he said that in one line, and that's how Ethan figured it out. So like,
Very quick.
It's like on the one hand, I don't want them to be more heavy-handed, but on the other hand, like this movie is needlessly complex for how simple it is.
There's so many characters, and it's just like it hits a point where it's like there's nicknames for people, and there's all this stuff where I'm
Right.
like, and a lot of people that
Also,
look
Kittredge,
similar.
Krieger, like there's a lot of names that are the same. You're like,
I do. This movie and the rest of the franchise will have a lot more moments that were not necessarily hinted at. And I kind of really enjoy that. I love not being able to see a twist coming at all. Like it's probably not great for film, but I still love being caught off guard as much as I do in this franchise.
Gotcha.
I love the use of the theme song. I love that it seems like it already knows what it is.
The score was its own character in this movie. I felt like I
it
thought
was
it was
great,
great.
man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a great time watching it. It definitely is not a great movie,
No.
but it's like it was fun as hell,
Yeah.
and like I'm super stoked to keep watching. So
I really enjoyed it as well. It was a movie I haven't seen in so long, and like that elevator scene in my childhood like made me hate elevators even more. And well, because I hate elevators, so one of the things. Elevators and dogs.
It's part of your character.
Kind of afraid of.
It's your character archetype.
Yeah. But it just like rewatching it now, it's like, wow, this is like like someone was trying to make a film. Did they succeed? You know,
Kind of.
yeah. I mean, I think
They kind of succeeded.
they succeeded enough. But what I'm saying is like Brian De Palma, I think, was trying to make something really, really cool. And like, I think that for the most part, being that it's been 20, Barry, what do you say, 23 years?
It's 23
Yeah,
years.
23 years. I think that like this movie still holds up in a really good way.
Yeah.
It's a little slower pace, but that's just, I think.
when were
movies
you
now-
born?
I was born in 95.
Yeah, he was 1 year old.
1 year
when this
old
movie
when
came
we
out.
saw this movie. in
Fucking
theaters.
A, I hate
How old are
that.
you? 4?
I was 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You'll see. Just keep in mind how slow and methodical and espionage based this one is. When you watch the second one directed by John Woo.
Let's go, dude.
Let's
go.
Because I think what happened was people were like, okay, this was cool, but it could use a lot more action and a lot less plot. And so they were like, I know, we'll get John Woo to direct it.
I remember nothing about part 2.
I also remember nothing.
like at all.
There's 2 things I remember about part 2.
No, don't say it.
I'm not going to spoil
Okay.
it.
No, he's definitely
He's
gonna
going to
spoil
spoil it. He always says that before he spoils it.
I will say this. Part 2, I'm looking forward to watching again. I haven't watched it in years. It'll be interesting to see the difference between the styles of the movies. Let's just put it that way.
Hell yeah.
Real quick, just wanted to say my thoughts. It's fine. Like the seminal, like the
Dynamite
big,
drop in, Baron.
the big moments of like. Thanks. All right. Well, never mind then.
Go back up.
When we were playing Division yesterday, it seemed like you didn't enjoy the train scene. Did you?
The whole third act kind of falls apart for me because the whole twist with John Voight I think sucks. And because of like how because they're like, oh, who do you think did it? And it's like Kittredge. So I was like, the movie feels so slow that I forgot who Kittredge was. I was like, oh, so who does he think it is? I'm confused here. Like by the time we got there, I was like, none of this fucking matters anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
I'll agree with you.
It's mush.
It's supposed to be. I think they were trying to really go for like a John le Carré style, like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, really deep espionage, where it was like it was slow and methodical, and it just, you're right, it does dip into the boring moment.
Yep.
Like
the John Voight reveal should have been cooler, and it was not cool.
You didn't like him just coming out of the cage?
No, fucking die.
I mean, the whole fucking time. I remember like this. How long have you been in that cage for?
His fucking grandpa out of his cage.
Fuck, why are you wearing all black, dude?
Yeah. With the goggles.
I'm like, did you wear that outfit onto the train? Like, what did you do there?
I do really love the opening scene, the first mission with the first team though. That came out of left field for me, not expecting anything. And then the very iconic scene of him dropping in. Those two scenes were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see where we go from
A
here.
lot of potential.
Yeah. I like the Jim being the bad guy, and I like the reveal when it's Tom Cruise sitting across and he's like lying about like what he thinks it is. I thought that was such a cool way to tell that, where it's like, oh, now he's spinning this lie, but in his mind he's breaking it down.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Breaking
that.
it down. All right, it's time to
It's number
rank
one. Yeah.
the Mission Impossible franchise. This is number 1 so far. I don't think it'll stay there.
No.
It is number 1.
You think number 2 is gonna be better?
I mean, I don't fucking know. But next week, Mission Impossible 2. There's no post-credit scene to talk about. No crazy things there.
And
So
state of the credits.
yeah, but anyways, until next time.
This video will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Oh my god.